Good evening. Tonight, we're covering one of the most stunning political divorces in modern politics. Marjorie Taylor Greene, once Trump's most loyal defender, is publicly blasting him for gaslighting Americans about the economy, calling his claims insulting to people's intelligence, and predicting Republicans will lose the House in 2026 because of it. In multiple interviews, Greene has accused Trump of living in a billionaire bubble, being out of touch with ordinary Americans struggling with bills, and telling people their economic pain isn't real. She's calling for Trump to show empathy, condemned his attack on Rob Reiner after his death, and announced she's quitting Congress rather than face a Trump-backed primary. Tonight, we examine how Trump's most loyal MAGA warrior became his harshest Republican critic. Let's start with Greene's most devastating quotes, because her language is extraordinary for someone who was, until recently, Trump's fiercest defender. On Trump's economic claims, speaking to CBS News, Greene said, "You can't gaslight people and tell them that their bills are affordable, and you can't tell them that the economy is in A++++. You just can't do that, and I think it's insulting to people's intelligence." Note that Trump claimed the economy deserves an A++++ grade, 4 pluses. Greene dropped 2, giving him at best A+++, but even that seems generous given her overall critique. On Trump's disconnect from reality, let's be real, President Trump doesn't go to the grocery store, Greene told CBS. By the time somebody is at the level that they're serving as President of the United States, it's not like they're going out and doing their own shopping. Trump is not sitting down on a Thursday night and paying his own bills and seeing what's going on with healthcare and how much his credit card shows for gas receipts. She continued, "The president needs to be aware that he's a billionaire president of the United States. Grocery prices have not gone down. Everybody suffered from inflation that happened during the Biden administration." On what Trump is doing wrong, speaking to former White House press secretary Sean Spicer on his own show, no less, Greene laid out the political damage. President Trump and his administration does deserve a lot of credit for lowering inflation and holding it steady, but that doesn't bring prices down. And so gaslighting the people and trying to tell them that prices have come down is not helping. It's actually infuriating people, because people know what they're paying at the grocery store. They know what they're paying for their kids' clothes and school supplies. They know what they're paying for their electricity bills. She warned, "You don't gaslight them, you don't lecture them, and you don't deny what's happening." Perhaps most stunning was Greene's condemnation of Trump's comment about Rob Reiner's death. When beloved filmmaker and Trump critic Rob Reiner died in December, Trump posted on Truth Social suggesting without evidence that Reiner's death was due to Trump derangement syndrome. Greene, who has herself made countless inflammatory and offensive statements, called Trump's comment absolutely, completely below the office of the President of the United States, classless, and it was just wrong. This is remarkable. Marjorie Taylor Greene, who once promoted QAnon conspiracy theories, harassed school shooting survivors, and called for the execution of Democratic leaders, is now lecturing Trump about being classless and below the office. In an interview with CNN's Caitlin Collins, Greene said, "What I would like to see from the president is empathy for Americans. Donald Trump is a billionaire and he's the president of the United States. When he looks into a camera and says affordability is a hoax and just totally tries to make nothing of it, that's a problem." She pressed Trump to have some empathy and to change his tone. To understand this dramatic break, we need to review how Greene went from MAGA's most loyal warrior to Trump's Republican critic. The breaking points. According to the Daily Beast, the Great Schism began when Greene, 50, broke with him on the cost of living crisis, which Trump insists is a hoax, and the release of the Jeffrey Epstein files. Greene was one of the Republicans who signed the discharge petition forcing Trump to release the Epstein files. She tweeted, "The Epstein rape and pedophile network must be exposed. Release all the Epstein information by any means possible. If something happens to me, I ask you all to find out who's trying to stop the information from coming out." Trump was furious. He called Green and other Republicans demanding transparency stupid and weaklings. Trump calls her a traitor. The escalation saw Trump call Green a traitor, an extraordinary insult for someone who was his most reliable defender for years. Trump also posted that Green has lost her way and claimed she's causing chaos in the Republican caucus. Green's response: Green told CBS she's starting to feel very sorry for Trump, saying his attacks on her reflect poorly on him. She announced on November 21st that she would quit Congress in January 2026 rather than face a Trump-backed primary challenge. "I have too much self-respect and dignity, love my family way too much, and do not want my sweet district to endure a hurtful and hateful primary against me by the president we all fought for, only to fight and win my election while Republicans will likely lose the midterms." Green said she didn't give House Speaker Mike Johnson advance warning before announcing her retirement, a sign of how isolated she's become from Republican leadership. Marjorie Taylor Greene's break with Trump is significant for several reasons. Reason number one, she was Trump's most loyal defender. Greene wasn't just any Trump supporter, she was his fiercest champion. She defended Trump through both impeachments, she promoted his election fraud claims, she attended his rallies and echoed his rhetoric, she attacked any Republican who criticized him. If Greene, the most MAGA of the MAGA, is publicly breaking with Trump, that signals something fundamental has shifted. Reason number two, she's voicing what voters feel. Greene's critique isn't coming from establishment Republican talking points. She's articulating genuine anger from Trump's own base, people who believed he'd make their lives more affordable and instead feel gaslit when he claims mission accomplished. Her message to Trump is essentially, your billionaire bubble is showing and voters notice. Reason number three, she's predicting what polls show. Greene's warning about 2026 aligns with every data point we've covered. Trump underwater on every issue, consumer confidence at historic lows, 74% of Americans negative on the economy, generic ballot favoring Democrats, and wrong track numbers catastrophic for the GOP. She's not making wild predictions, she's reading the polling everyone else sees and drawing the obvious conclusion. Reason number four, she's identifying the problem Republicans won't admit. Most Republicans are either silent about Trump's economic messaging or actively echoing it. Greene is the rare Republican willing to say publicly, this isn't working, it's insulting to voters, and we're going to pay for it. Karl Rove is saying it in Wall Street Journal columns, Greene is saying it on cable news, but most elected Republicans are staying silent, hoping the problem resolves itself. So where does this go from here? For Greene, she's announced she'll quit Congress in January 2026, but she's not going quietly. She's using her remaining time to warn Republicans about the electoral disaster ahead. Her CBS interview suggests she still loves Trump, but believes he's making catastrophic mistakes. Whether she remains a voice in conservative politics after leaving Congress or fades from relevance remains unclear. For Trump, he shows no signs of changing his approach. He continues claiming the economy is A++++, while Americans struggle. He continues attacking critics, even dead ones. He continues living in the Mar-a-Lago bubble, disconnected from ordinary Americans' reality. Greene's warning, you can't gaslight people, will be ignored, just as Karl Rove's warnings have been ignored. For Republicans, they face an impossible choice: echo Trump's "everything is great" message and risk voter backlash, or tell the truth about economic struggles and risk Trump's wrath. Most will choose to stay silent and hope for the best. But as Green noted, the dam may be breaking. Those 13 Republicans who voted against Trump's executive order, then attended the White House Christmas party anyway, show that some are testing the waters of defiance. For 2026, if Trump continues gaslighting Americans about the economy, and if prices remain high, and if real wages stay flat, then Green's prediction of a Republican wipeout looks increasingly likely. The only question is whether enough Republicans will break with Trump early enough to save their House majority, or whether they'll march lemming-like toward defeat, following a leader who can't admit mistakes. America, Marjorie Taylor Greene, of all people, is now the voice of economic reality in the Republican Party. Let that sink in. The woman who promoted QAnon, harassed school shooting survivors, and called for Democrats' execution is now the Republican telling hard truths about Trump's disconnect from ordinary Americans. She's calling his economic messaging gaslighting. She's saying it's insulting to people's intelligence. She's predicting Republicans will lose the House because of it, and she's quitting Congress rather than defend the undefensible. If Marjorie Taylor Greene thinks Trump has lost touch with reality, if she thinks his billionaire bubble is showing, then the problem is far worse than establishment Republicans admit. Trump's response? Call her a traitor, attack her, dismiss her warnings. But Greene speaks for millions of Trump voters who are struggling with bills, frustrated by his dismissiveness, and starting to wonder if the MAGA promise was a lie.